Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. So excited to kick off another show of Tisha Talks live at 10:45. I just want to say thanks so much for being here. If you are tuning into this, if this is your first time being on the show with us, I love interviewing entrepreneurs all over the world and bringing them in to teach you something new, give you some tips and strategies so that you can be successful. And today I will be bringing him in just a second. We have Shahbaz Niazi. He is out of Pakistan. I met him when he interviewed me for his podcast several months ago and decided, why not bring him in? He's going to be talking to us about digital marketing in a digital world. I know a lot of people who are coming up with different creative ideas for products, but we want to know, well, how do we get those products out in this digital marketing and this digital world that we have? So if you have questions about how you can go ahead and put your products out there and sell those products and make some additional income and so forth, this is really the show that you want to be on. So make sure that you ask those questions, you say hello, tell us where you're from. But we're going to kick this show off. I always like to have a couple of different announcements. One second, let me get that off the screen. This is the fun part about trying to do all the technical stuff. Well, hey, thanks so much for being here. I see some people joining us on LinkedIn as well as on Facebook. Such a pleasure to have you. As I mentioned, I have such a great speaker coming. This is his first time being on a live stream, and I'm so honored that he's on my live stream. So this is Shahbaz, and he is joining us out of Pakistan. And today we're going to be talking about digital marketing in a digital world. So again, if you have a product in your mind that you want to get out there, you have all of these creative ideas, he's going to be talking to us about how we start getting those products to market and some things you should be looking for, some tips and some strategies. So let me go ahead and bring him in as well. Let's see. Hopefully we have no technical difficulties as he's coming in. All right. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. But as he's coming back in, we're going to go ahead and get this started anyway. So I want to ask you guys the question if you're tuning into this. What are, oh, there you are. Hello. Can you hear me okay? See me okay? All right. I think we're still having some technical difficulties because I see his screen is frozen. But I want to ask the audience as we're getting that taken care of, what are some of the digital products that you're bringing to market? What are some of the ideas that you have that you want to push out this year in 2023? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get this going. This is the thing. Live streams, technical difficulties. Are we back? We're back? Shahbaz? You're here? Can you give me a little sound check?
I'm here. I'm in the room.
Yay!
Yep.
All right. Okay, heart's racing, of course, when you're hosting a live stream. But thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks to everybody who's
Yeah, I
tuning
can
in. I
hear you,
know.
but there is a lot of distortion in the show.
Okay, well, we're going to try and make this work as best we can, being on a live stream. So thank you again for being here. Again, we're talking about digital marketing in a digital world. If you can answer me this question, what do you think is a digital world? Shahbaz, can you tell us a little bit about what is a digital world? Why should we care about this digital world we're in? All right, I think we're having that lag. Did you get my question? No question. All right. Well, okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and we'll probably have to call this and reschedule it when we have a better connection. But hey, Luis, hey, thanks so much for showing up. Luis saying good morning from groovy Los Angeles. I know we're having a little bit of this technical difficulties because that's what happens sometimes when you're on a live stream. But today, again, like I said, we're talking about digital marketing in a digital world. If you have a digital product or if you're thinking about creating a digital product, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll share a little bit about digital products that I'm creating too. And as we have Shahbaz coming back in, hopefully, fingers crossed, things help. Oh, okay. It looks like he's back. You're back?
Yep. Finally.
Finally. Woo. Okay. This is good. This is good. All right. See, these are all the fun things you get to work on when you're doing live streams. Okay, so the question I had for you, Shahbaz, was tell us about this digital world. Like, why should we care that we're all in this digital world?
Okay, so the first thing that comes into the mind is, before we talk about what digital world is, you need to consider that how it actually came into existence. I mean, what empowered it and how people are actually trying to utilize this ability to create a whole new world out of this. So before, if you go back like almost 10 years ago, people didn't have any idea what internet is or how beneficial it is going to be in some time, right? So when things started to get more technologically strong and people had more education, they had more uh, sensitive knowledge of how they can monetize uh, their entire luxurious brands, their thoughts, their perceptions, and create a whole new uh, world into this. This is how it actually came into play. If you consider to create a world that is already existing, but people who haven't tapped into the market yet, they have little to no idea that what digital world is. I mean, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, if you look at Google, if you look at Amazon, if you look at top 500 Fortune companies, they are actually the ones who are ruling the world by creating digital products, digital services. Either they're on whatever the product they're technically trying to work on. Even if it's simple e-com, you got an e-com store, you're trying to sell the product without an actual store. It's a website, it's a Instagram page, or it might be a Facebook page where you're trying to sell off your product. This is what actually digital means. You're just sitting at your home, you have a laptop right in front of you, you have a an iPhone right next to you just to take quick calls, or just to tap into or try to contact few people. This is what actually digital means. I mean, now you have created a digital world. You're just sitting right on your bed or in your couch, you're watching TV, and you're just making like say $100 sale every month, or maybe $500 sales every month. And this is what actually the power of digital world is. Then there are different aspects into it, that how people are trying to use this, unbelievable phenomena, right? The other day I was working with someone even younger than me. I'm like 26 and a half, and the guy who I was working with, he was like 16 and 17, and he showed me his e-com store, and he was making like almost $16,000 a sale for every single month. And what he was selling, that
Wow.
was quite unbelievable. He was selling, these paper pens all over Pakistan, and they were just simple pens, simple, variety of colors, variety of stencils into it. And I was so impressed that we have been working for the last 10, 15 years in this world, and he has just entered into the world for the last 2 years or so. This is what digital world has really impacted on a lot of people. I mean, especially the kids. My nephews, my nieces, they're all over the internet. I mean, they're using they're using Instagram, they're using TikTok, they're using Facebook
Hmm.
to create unbelievable videos, and they're actually have monetized it. So this is what digital world means, and this is how it actually came into me.
So I have to stop you right there because a 16-year-old making $16,000 a month selling
Yep.
pens digitally. Okay,
You
yeah,
just
okay.
become
When
so
I was
Shopify.
16, and I am not 26 and a half, Shabazz. I'm 43 and I'm damn proud of that. But I remember when I was 16 years old, you want to know how much I got paid? I got paid $4.25 an hour working at Chick-fil-A. That was my job. And so I can't even imagine like what do these kids do? It's like I don't know if you've seen this. So there's the kid on YouTube who is probably a billionaire by now, but he like went on YouTube and was like Ryan was his name, like Ryan's World or whatever it is, but he would just talk about like unpacking different toys and things like that. Is this just it's just mind blowing how many people have gotten behind just being in this digital world and are really, like you said, they're not just there to just show up and do this, they're monetizing it. They're making their parents rich by getting on there. So $16,000 a month. How many of you guys would love to have $16,000 a month rolling through your bank account while you sit on the couch in your comfy PJs selling a digital product?
Exactly. I mean, and that's same likewise. And he has like four people who are working with. One of them is her sister, who who is managing their Shopify store.
Uh-huh.
Updating the pictures, updating the catalogs, and they're just producing a paper cost. The pen is costs them almost like $3, $4 per pen. The production
Mm-hmm.
cost, the selling cost, the marketing cost, and on every pen they make like $8, $9 per profit for each, almost 50% of that product. I mean, it's totally unbelievable. And the product that they're trying to sell in is not just any specific niche or they have targeted. They're selling it to everybody. The
Right.
tools that they're using, they're not even paid tools. They're using free tools over it. If I start taking names of a few of the tools, I'm like, okay, you're using this tool which costs me like $100 every month, and you're just using dummy emails to sign up again and again. You're using dummy emails to showcase some of the products, and you're actually doing a really perfect job. Even the companies, even the corporate sectors, they're like investing uh, $1 million every year on a specific product, on a specific software they're trying to use, and at the end of the day, they barely get into the break even, right?
Mm, right.
Digital product,
Right.
anybody. You just need to find in the tap in. You just need to find what's the niche you're doing it. I have seen people who are selling, these phone covers. This is just like not. It's not going to be more than $50, right? And they're
Right.
using
Right.
this unbelievable skill set. Shopify stores, WordPress. I mean, there are tons of sites they're using this, to upscale the product. They don't even have a niche, but what they have
Right.
is their consistency, their motivation. They are willing to stand up every time they fall. This is how actually they're
Yeah.
trying to get into this.
That's a great tip right there. I mean, these are entrepreneurs, right? These are people who have an idea, have a product, they push it out in this digital world. And you're right, it's not going to be, I woke up and all of a sudden I was this millionaire selling products online, selling pens or phone covers. You've got to be willing to change, adapt, move forward, try new things to be able to get your products out there. So let's dive into this a little bit, because like I said, a lot of people who may be watching this either live or watching the replay are creating a digital product. And we were talking about this in the green room of sometimes the easiest thing you can do is create that digital course, create that thing, and then what happens next? So a lot of us are like, I created it, now I'm going to sit on it, and now I'm not going to market it. So can you talk to us a little bit about, you have a digital product, now how are you going to market it? What are some tips and strategies you can share on how to market your product?
So first thing, before we actually get into a digital product, let's just rewind like 10 or 15 or 20 years back ago, right? So let's say if I come up with an astonishing, a book, right? I write a book. I go to Tisha. I say, okay, Tisha, I wrote this book. It's an amazing book. It has, the problems of all the problems that you are facing in your business. It has, ultimate solutions to it, right? First
Mm-hmm.
thing, you're not gonna buy it because you and I don't have any mutual connections, right? Just the word traditional and the word digital, they're almost the same thing. The only difference is that meaning that you're using a digital product to sell that service. Even if it's in the traditional world, we need to build connections, we need to build trust, we need to build credibility, we need to build a reliability in order for you to trust me, right? You're not just going to go and buy a $50 or $100 ebook from me, or a normal curriculum book from me, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
don't have any connection among each other.
Right.
Well, even if you're creating any product, right? Even if it's your if it's an ebook, if it's a pen or a book or a mic or a cell phone cover, anything, it doesn't matter. No matter how much you're investing in, not until unless you have a reliability, you have credibility, you have security with that specific customer you're trying to solve the needs for, there is no point in upscaling your product. Even if you have one single customer and you're impacting the life of that one single customer, you're doing a big job. You have changed that one person's life. You don't need to go back. Don't need to sell 100 customers. If you have one specific customer and he's reaching out to you every day of the month, he's reaching out to you every single time for every his problem that he's facing,
Mm-hmm.
you have done your job. Now you need to find the second person, then a third, then fourth, and fifth one. This is how I started my own company. My boss, he used to say, you don't need to sell this product to 100 people. You just need to find one person who you can pitch into, and later on, he's going to give you a turnover that you won't able to ever repay him. This is
Mm-hmm.
how actual business is coming to play. You go back to Coca-Cola, you go back to P&G, Unilever, companies that are like more than a decade ago. They were founded by someone, right? Nobody ever believed in Coca-Cola. That what it was actually trying to do till someone actually bought that bottle, drank it and had, oh wow, that's this aha moment they have. Not unless you don't have anything. So in order, what I've learned in my experience is that if you are trying to sell in the product to anybody in the world, teacher, believe me, if you don't have a trust factor, if they don't trust you, if they find your product to be insecure, if you are not reliable, your information is not credible, they won't buy anything from you, even if your product is solving $1 billion problem. Nobody's ever going to buy it from you. If you stay loyal to your customer, their needs, if they find it securable, if your product is not hurting anybody's emotions or their needs, everything gonna get, it's not gonna rack up. Trust me, it won't fall. It will rise up to the time. It will take time. People are gonna know what you're trying to do, what problem you're trying to solve. And this is how actually the product digital products come into play. Because Tisha, to be honest, if I'm sitting here in Pakistan and I'm trying to sell my product to someone in London or in Ohio or Cincinnati, anywhere, if I don't have any mutual connection with him,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how much effort I put in, right, in selling to, no matter how much campaigns I run over it, no matter how much PPC campaigns I run over it, it won't say anything unless a valid testimonial from Tisha or Shri or anybody says it. Okay, so I've tested this product; it's actually good. You can buy it from him. The testimonial actually works.
Yes, I want to bring that up too and say hi to some people that are joining us. Hi, my dearest. Well, hello. Thank you so much for being here. And Luis Melendez is also saying awesome personal networking with ethical responses and actions. Okay, so You mentioned a woman, Shri Mahabir. Shri is a good friend of mine, and it's actually how we connected. So Shahbaz and I connected because Shri was also on Shahbaz's show. And I think because Shri and you know each other, she probably dropped my name too. Like that's how we connected. So you're right. It's a lot of that mutual connections. And I think that we get so overwhelmed with creating a product. Like you said, it doesn't matter. Your goal should not be to sell it to hundreds of people. Maybe in the future, but start with one person who can really be that testimony for you that can then share it with other people. I tell my clients all the time, your testimonials, your reviews are what is going to help you sell your product. So get in the habit of talking to your clients, your best clients, and saying, can you please write that testimonial for me? Give me a LinkedIn recommendation because your words are gold. So much better than mine touting my own product, tooting my own horn. Like we need to get in that habit of always asking for the testimonial for the recommendation. When someone, for instance, on LinkedIn writes this amazing comment to me or says something in a post, I'm like, I send them a DM and I said, that was so brilliantly said. I would love it if you could take that same verbiage and turn it into a recommendation because that to me is going to sustain me. That's going to help me so much more than having it be a comment on a post that's going to disappear tomorrow. People are going to
True.
forget about it and so forth. So I love what you said about start with one, get the testimony, share that testimony to get the second person and the third person and so on. And
Purpose.
that's how you start to
You know,
build your marketing.
even if you talk about a simple tool like LinkedIn, we all are using it. I mean, there's this space or recommendation that you can type into, right? No,
Right.
nobody has to go through your every product or every project that you have done. We just gotta go into your profile. We see, okay, Tisha is recommended by ABC or XYZ. This creates a lot of credibility when you're trying to deal with someone who has no mutual connection with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're talking about, like you mentioned, right? If someone comments on your post and says, okay, so it was really amazing really working with you, and so on and so forth, it just vanishes away after few of the posts, maybe 10 posts or 20 posts later. It's no more, it's in the wind, right? Like sand
Right.
in the desert.
Right.
When Even if you're working on the Upwork, or if you're working on Fiverr, if you're working on people per hour, and there are like tons of softwares, they have this column to say, okay, you can write a testimonial, you can write recommendation to someone. This actually has 110% positive response factor when someone actually visits your profile and sees, okay, I will work with this person, I will work with him, I won't work with this because ABC happened. I have no concern with anything. This is actually what really matters when one positive word of mouth creates 100 times more response factor for someone else to use that thing.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I want to say hi to those people joining us on Facebook. Thank you so much. AJ Campbell, thanks for the love, my friend, tuning in. Again, if you guys have questions about digital products, digital marketing, make sure you drop those comments. Of course, we'll always go back and tune in to the people who are watching the replay as well if you have questions as well. All right. So we talked about marketing digital products, but what would you say is like a big benefit of creating a digital product? Well, one, we know you don't have to have the overhead, you don't have to have this brick and mortar store in order to sell your products anymore, but are there some other benefits that you can think of why you should create this?
Okay, so referring to this analogy, right, where you mentioned that there's no brick and mortar, you don't need to have a warehouse, you don't need to have any outstanding dues or fees, or any uh, cost that you have to pay at that time, right? But there
Mm-hmm.
is one thing that is really certain about this, right? You have to follow the trend. I mean, the moment you're out of the trend, the moment you are not following what people are actually willing to see, no matter how much product investment you're trying to put in, it doesn't matter. So, for instance, if I'm trying to create my own blog, right, I don't need anything. I just need one good domain. I need a hosting. I need one content writer for this post who's going to help me write with, say, 1,000 words for every week.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what actually cost that I'm going to refer, right? So when I say, okay, so if you can refer to Chat GPT, right, it has created chaos in the world right now. People are
Yeah,
really dying
right.
to use it. right? And you actually can create, like, say, 1,000 blogs for next 6 months, right? Before they actually use the paid version first, people who are trying to use this for the sake for the fun purposes. So they actually create 1,000 blogs, they store it in the warehouse, or someone, starts scheduling the post for maybe next 6 months, or maybe a few years from now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is the actual cost that has been further reduced. I mean, first you were investing, say $1,000 every month. Now you've reduced your cost to maybe 50% of it. Now
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to invest like $1,000. You're investing $500 and getting like 6 months of content, right? And now your product is far more recommendable. It's far more secure. And now they actually know what your digital product actually is. I mean, it's not just about creating a secure blog or anything related to it. Digital product, what do you mean by digital product, right? When I say digital product, it means actually we are using we're using an e-com store. We are
Mm-hmm.
not actually physically touching the product. We just need to feel it. We just need to connect our emotions with it. So actually, when people start to follow it, or they start to like comment it, or start to sharing it, this actually creates a positive, what do you say, a positive response for someone who doesn't know what actually the product is.
Right.
So this is the main difference between a a physical product, I would say, and an abstract product that has no that doesn't have any physical value or any tangible value assigned to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Well, this has been a really good conversation. I wish we had more time too. I know we're going to wrap this up a little
Yeah.
bit too, Shabazz, but any last words that you want to say about digital marketing, digital products? And then I want to give you time for that shameless plug.
Okay, so before we close our the session, I would really I'm really thankful for you all tuning in, and thank you, teacher, for the invite. The only thing that if it's about selling your digital product, or if it's physical product, or if it's anything, you just have to make sure you actually create a trust factor with the person who you're trying to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, if you even are posting one single post on social media, it does not mean you're going to change the world, but at least you're trying to reach one single person who is actually trying to fall in love with your product. So make a trust, make sure your product has a reliability factor into it. It's credible information that you're adding into it. And and the top of, and not the least factor, it should be honest. It should never hurt anybody's emotion, even if it's a tiniest problem that you're trying to solve. Make sure all these factors are actually curated into it.
Mm-hmm. No, I
That's
love
what
it.
my experience has been.
I love it. Well, and like you said, I think that when you're starting to create a product too, I think it's always good to find out if there is a need, right? I talk to so many entrepreneurs who are just like, I'm going to create this. I'm like, but have you done the research? Have you asked around if this is something that people really could utilize? Because we get
Yeah.
into this whole, I'm just going to create it, hopefully they'll come, and it's like, nope, no, 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 no. Maybe you should test the market a little bit and see if that's a product or a service that they probably need, right? If it's needed in the marketplace. So I would also add that too, of make sure that you really are putting something out there that the world needs
No,
as
in the
well.
end, there are people who are actually trying to find the best product that caters like 100 needs they have. It should cater that their 101 needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want products, they just want one single product who caters their two needs, two products or three needs. This is how people actually work. Customers is the king in the end, right? You're gonna
Right,
do what he says. Because if you're
right.
not doing what he says, then you're out of the market. You're out of the business.
Right. Yeah, you dropped some great nuggets here too about like being adaptable, changing with the trends as well, and then just really creating products that are trustworthy, reliable, that you have that trust factor with your market, and that really it just takes one. It takes one person to see the value of that for it to really start growing exponentially. So let's
Exactly.
get out of this mindset of it's got to be this like 100 million people buying it right now or it's a total failure. It's not a total failure. It's like one day, one step at a time. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Okay, well, I have your LinkedIn.com company page up here. Tell us how else people can find you, Shahbaz. And
They can
yeah,
they can reach out to me on my Instagram page. It's same Showbiz
okay.
Solutions. They already have my LinkedIn profile, the company one. You can also reach out to me on my personal LinkedIn, though it's not personal, it's private, but still, you can drop in the text anytime. I can get back to you. You can get back to me anytime you want. It's like 24/7, 365 time service, free consultation. We don't charge anybody till your product actually goes into the market, and later on we start to think if we need to charge you or not. But it's always an open door policy. You don't need to just worry about anything. So these are the places we can reach out to me. And yeah, I'm always happy to help anybody who is looking forward to create a startup or looking forward to connect with any investors in any specifically in the business that we are in. I'd be happy to connect you in.
Great. Okay, sounds good. So, if you have a digital product that you are looking to take to market, I highly recommend that you grab a call or a consultation with Shahbaz. This is his jam, like digital marketing, digital world, all these things, and just get some insight from him on how you take that product. And if you're like, I don't even want to market this, I want you to market this. I'm pretty sure you can do that for them too, right? You're like, I'll take your product and we'll just put it out
Yep,
there for you. So,
done.
good
That's
stuff.
that's how it works.
Good stuff. Well, I'm glad that you hung in with me. I know at the start we had some technical difficulties, but we made it. We made it
Yep.
through. And big congrats to you, Shahbaz. This is your first LinkedIn live stream. So happy that I got to be the first one to interview you. I know there will be plenty others as well. So thank you so much for being a part of
Thank you,
Tisha Talk
Tisha. Thank you
Live
so much. I mean, it
today.
was really an honor to be on the show. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. All right. I know we have people joining us on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So, again, if you have questions, make sure you drop them in the comments and we'll go ahead and get back to those as well. But I hope you learned something new today. We're back next week with another Tisha Talks Live, February 17th, same time, 10:45. I have the pleasure of interviewing Felicia Jones. She is the founder of I Find You Close. So if you are getting ready to become a speaker, you want to know how you can find those speaking engagements, how you get paid to speak, how you can be a speaker. She's going to be talking about how to find your genius zone. So that's a cool one. I hope you'll tune in for that coming up next Friday. But thanks so much, everybody, for being here. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Super Bowl weekend if you're catching the game. I'm out here in Arizona, so it is pure pandemonium because Super Bowl is here. But have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll catch you back on the next show. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.